In this short video, we are going to look at how to solve a quadratic equation by using the quadratic formula. So first of all, let's just quickly go over what the quadratic formula is and what it involves, okay? And the best way to think about this is to have a look at the template equation that we normally use for quadratic equations, and that is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. When we write a quadratic equation, an example being x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0, they take on this template over here where we have an x squared with a term in front of it, whether it be 1x or 2x squared or something like that. Then we have a 3x and then we have a 2 or a constant term, and that's equal to 0. When we use our quadratic formula, what we're doing is we're rearranging our template equation so that x is the subject. What this allows us to do is then find what x is equal to when we substitute our values in. So our quadratic formula is actually x is equal to minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That is our quadratic formula. And when we substitute values in for a, b and c as in the formula, that's how we find out what x is equal to, okay? So in terms of using the quadratic formula, there's two steps. First of all, we need to find out what a, b and c are equal to, looking at our template equation and the equation we're using to solve. And the second thing we need to do is then pretty much just substitute these values into our formula and solve the equation from there. So let's zoom in a little bit and let's have a go at using the quadratic formula on this equation. So here it's really helpful to write our template equation underneath, which will help us with identifying what a, b and c are equal to. So here we can see that, okay, a is going to be equal to 1, okay, because just having x squared is the same as just 1x squared. B is going to be equal to positive 3, and c is going to be equal to 2. Then what we do from here is we substitute these values into our quadratic formula. So our quadratic formula, once again, it's x is equal to minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then what we do is our substitution. So x is equal to, b is equal to 3, so we'll have minus 3 plus minus square root b squared, which is 3 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 2, all over 2 times a, and a is equal to 1. Then what we do from here is we simplify, okay? So let's simplify that down. We have minus 3 plus minus. Looking at what's underneath our square root symbol, we have 3 squared, which gives us 9. And then minus 4 times 1 times 2 is going to give us 8. And that's all going to be over 2 times 1, which is 2. Now let's just move over here for a little bit. Let's continue simplifying. So we'll have minus 3 plus minus. 9 minus 8 is going to give us 1. Square root of 1 is 1 all over 2. And from here, what we do is we then separate our answers into the two possibilities. Possibility 1 is that we can either use our plus symbol, okay, and possibility 2 being using our minus symbol. So let's use the plus first. So then we'll have this is equal to minus 3 plus 1 all over 2. We know minus 3 plus 1 is equal to minus 2. Minus 2 divided by positive 2 is minus 1. Now, taking the negative case, we have minus 3 minus 1 all over 2. Then we'll have minus 4 on 2, and then we're going to have negative 2. So therefore, we can conclude that x is equal to minus 1, and x is also equal to minus 2. And that's how we use our quadratic formula to solve for x in a quadratic equation. Now let's continue by looking at a harder example. Let's say this time we have a non-monic quadratic, like 4x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, and we need to use our quadratic formula to solve for that. So once again, first step, identify what a, b and c are equal to. And then second step, we're going to substitute and solve using our quadratic formula. So looking at this, we have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Once again, always helpful to write our template equation underneath. just matching up the terms, okay, we can see that A is going to be equal to 4, B is going to be equal to 3, and C is going to be equal to minus 4. Now what we do is we substitute using our quadratic formula. Our quadratic formula, once again, is x is equal to minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now let's do our substitution. We have x is equal to minus b, so minus 3, plus minus square root. B squared is going to give us 3 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, which is negative 4, all over 2 times 4 on the bottom. Now let's keep going. Let's simplify what's underneath our square root symbol. We'll have x is equal to minus 3 plus minus. And when we simplify using the calculator, what's underneath our square root symbol? So 3 squared minus 4 times negative 4, we'll get 73. So probably don't need that there. And then all over 8. Now what we do is we've simplified everything, mostly. Now the final thing for us to do is to have a look and see if this third, root 73, can be simplified. And the short answer is it cannot, because there are no square numbers that divide into 73, because 73 is a prime number. So therefore, what we'll do is we'll stop there and say that this is our answer here. X is equal to negative 3 plus or minus root 73 all over 8. And that is how we solve a non-monic quadratic equation using the quadratic formula.